Hi YouTube, Darth here. This is Over Your Shoulder, where I follow unsuspecting players and give what is usually unsolicited advice. Today's victim is Rink 0071, a level 140 with a huge amount of time played and some okay stats. He's got a definite preference for my favorite weapon, the M416, but what looks like not a lot of time in vehicles. As I follow over Rink 0071's shoulder today, I'll call out all the good things, the bad things, and the things I might do differently. So let's take a look over Rink's shoulder.
Alright, looks like we are in the attack boat for Rink 0071. Got the 30mm, a TV guided missile, a belt feeder, active protection, Iron V. This is a pretty typical setup. Gonna go for that quick shot on the enemy boat. I don't know if he's got the range. It exploded before it got there. Kind of a waste. Needed to get closer. This is gonna be some trouble now if that other boat has TV missiles and gets in range. Doesn't look like he sees them yet. Manages to get that shot on him. Got a couple of gunners that are doing some work on that boat, so we're probably not going to be in terrible shape here. Taking a look. The other enemy boat might have exited, but it looks like we're getting some shots on us now from a tank charging the armor. This is going to be pretty much good night in about 5 or 10 seconds here if that tank lands its shot. Oh, what? Surprise ending. Wait, no, not really. Alright, on the ground now. Looks like we got a couple of guys looking down on us. Might not survive this, doesn't, but takes out one in the process. So far, no good luck going yet. Gonna try and take out the enemy armor here, help out his buddy. Manages to do so. Taking a look at the bomb. Looks like the enemy team is pretty well encroached here. Let's take a look at the tabletop really quick, see what we got here. Yep, enemy team's closing in on Alpha. Probably enough defenders here that we can take care of that. Still working on taking care of that armor. Manages to take it out. That tank needs to get up on this point and try to defend a little bit. Crossing the road, dropping some mines. I'm always a fan of this. If you have mines on your person, might as well take a chance here and just drop them. You never know when you're going to come up with a free kill.
Closing in on those mad bombers, gets a flash in the face, probably from a friendly. Right now I'd probably be taking a look at my minimap trying to hide. Not so in Rink's case, trying to run in. Almost misses this guy, takes him out. Everybody else is dead. Finally picks up the bomb.
Almost gets taken out himself. 59 health. I might try to find a medic or perhaps jump in something here. Not a lot of cover there in the middle. Hoping for a ride from the tank. Manages to get one.
Still a huge target, exposed a little bit here in the tank. We have the drops coming in from the spawn point. Manages to take one out. Tank gets a shot and 50% health on this one now.
Got one doing a good job of pillaring over there. Might be in trouble here. Probably won't make it across this dam unless we can get some repairs. Looks like we have a friendly teammate sliding up here.
Boo, and taken out by that pillaring tank across the way.
So far, not much traction here for the Russian team. Neither team has been able to accomplish anything. We had 20 minutes on the clock. We're down by about 3 minutes now. Still plenty of time. Taking a look at what we got going on the tabletop, it looks like there's still plenty of bad guys coming up on that point. The bomb's still relatively close. Might be able to pick that up if we can. Heading towards his squad mate now. Still have that tank over there that we need to deal with before we try to cross the bridge. Squad mate's coming in. Getting a couple of shots in here on that tank. Definitely not what I would choose here for this particular setup. He's got Zuni rockets and HE shells, which are definitely better against infantry. But with that armor on the map, I probably would have gone for armor-piercing shells and tow missiles. And now he's out in the open, and he's going to be in real trouble because that tank is just going to have free shots on him the whole time. Yep, and there it is. Second shot. They might manage to get it close enough to where they need to be. Yep, the bomb hopped out. Might not be in trouble here. Gonna make best use of it we can. Getting some repairs. That tank put on his APS, and it's pretty much going to be good night when that shell lands, and there it is.
Rink sacrificed himself to get the bomb to where it needed to be, but at the same time, it could have gone much more poorly.
All right, let's see what we got here. Looks like we switched to assault. We've got an AAK with a pretty typical setup. Almost gets taken out there. A couple of small med packs.
And the smaller pack is probably better for maps like this where you're on the move a lot. Almost going to get this off, not quite. Just not enough time on that one. So here's the advantage of planting on the center point on Lancang Dam, is if the enemy team isn't in position to defend you right away, it's pretty much an easy guaranteed plant.
Looks like the enemy team is pretty well stationed back towards that. Looks like they were not paying attention to where the bomb is at all. That's really the problem with Obliteration is, despite the fact that the bomb is so well illustrated on the heads-up display, so many people get tunnel vision and completely ignore where it's going at any given time. And here's an enemy to finally challenge this and easily gets taken out.
A little bit of AK action gets the job done. Probably not my weapon of choice for this map. I'd probably look at a longer range assault rifle, maybe even a DMR if I'm in the middle.
Gonna try to pick up a couple of friendlies here. Manages to get one. Kind of a crappy revive. We didn't see what the time left was on that, so it might have been okay.
Generally, if you're protected and the enemy isn't pressing you and you have time left, it's always good to go for that 100 revive because you never know when it'll come in handy. But again, triage as necessary. So right here is a pretty boneheaded maneuver by the driver. I think I would probably take this vehicle on the friendly side of the island as opposed to the enemy side, otherwise you're going to get action from all angles. We saw the driver get out. We're not really paying much attention to the fact that he's gone. We have the boat coming in. This is going to be lights out here. 22 health left. All it's going to take is a missile, and here come a couple of rockets, and that is good night. LAV in the middle of the water, pretty much the worst place for it.
Rink 007. Again, I would change up this loadout to be more anti-armor because you're facing at least 2 armored vehicles on the enemy side and you have that boat in the middle.
In this case, I would probably use the tow and the anti-armor shells. That tow rocket gives you the long and mid-range ability that the Zuni rockets really don't possess, and the anti-armor shells are just a nice plus. You can use them both at the same time for a huge punch.
Looks like the enemy team is currently in possession of the bomb. Middle of the bay. Not going to do much good there. No plant points. Plenty of Russians there to pick up the bomb when time comes.
So when you have both teams swimming to a point like this, it's probably better to push past the point and give your team a little bit more support rather than trying to sit over here on this side. But you still want to play it safe, so I would definitely look at the map and make sure what's going on. As for example, here you see there are all these enemies up there. Maybe don't push forward. You want to make sure that you're keeping yourself safe and giving your team the best opportunities possible. Since you have this tank down below, it might not be a bad idea to back up and go to the bridge instead. A little bit of laser-guided lock-on from the Q5 flying over top. I'm really not impressed with the laser-guided rockets recently because they tend to give a little bit of damage off the top and they don't really have that lasting power. Right now, Rink is playing it safe. Not a whole lot of things to worry about back here. Got a little bit of support. Got that laser-guided action happening a little bit more. As you can see, if you have a dedicated engineer, it really doesn't matter if that aircraft is attacking you constantly. As an example, I had a guy that was dropping laser-guided rockets on me all day on Silk Road the other day, and it didn't matter because all I had to do was hop out, repair, and I was good to go. However, it is a little bit of added punishment if you happen to have a lot of infantry or tanks bearing down on you. So playing it safe right here, probably not a terrible idea. I'm not sure why we jumped out there. Again, we're going out in the bay in kind of an exposed location. This is a really dangerous maneuver. Now here's where it could become a problem. You're already vulnerable and you're taking incidental damage from the air. If this tank wises up to the fact that he's there, he's pretty much going to be history. So here's another bad idea. You're drawing the attention of a tank in a way that you have no way of killing it. Best case, he ignores you like that. Worst case, they turn to you and blow you up. Thankfully for him, best case happened, the tank ignored him and he had a little bit of repair action from a buddy. Now he can support this bomb point on the beach from the island. The lines of sight are clear here so you can drop down a lot of support, but at the same time it's going to be difficult to get out of the way if you're in trouble. So here you can kind of see the range limitations to his setup. Might get lucky there, does so with the splash damage. This boat completely ignores what's going on, flies past where the bomb is. Again, situational awareness is very important in Obliteration. This boat is taking all kinds of pain from this LAV that it doesn't need to be. Looks like we got a shot from the tank finally going on, a little bit of extra action. That APS isn't going to last forever, so I'd definitely consider backing up here. Probably have a tank and perhaps a jet and maybe some other stuff looking at it at the same time. Finally, that boat gets taken out. Looking at the bomb site again, it looks like that Chinese team isn't doing a whole lot about the bomb. We got one guy trying to carry it away, not quite good enough. Moving in the LAV a little bit closer now, gonna go in the water again. Now we have no cover whatsoever in case anything else shows up. So this is also a good point at which to be aware of what enemy armor is up and what the timers are. Whenever you take out a vehicle in Battlefield, keep in mind the times left on that vehicle. And now we have this LAV pulling up, and if he actually does his job right, he should be able to take out all this infantry, but it looks like the LAV is piloted by an idiot. Might be a little close here. Nope, manages to not catch the blast from that bomb. I never really can quite gauge how big it's going to blow until I die when it goes off. So taking a look at the tabletop, it looks like we still have a lot of the Chinese team sort of holed up over here at Alpha. The Russians really don't have to do a whole lot other than just make sure that they don't get 2 plants put on them. And this will pretty much be the game at this point. Depending on where the bomb drops, it's going to be maybe an easy plant and pickup, or pickup and plant for the Russian team. Currently it looks like Rink is just sort of sliding on up into this Chinese area,
trying to catch a few kills here. Lots of action going to be happening around him. It's usually a little bit difficult to push up into a point if you don't have any infantry support, and it looks like he has a couple of bad guys behind him. We got the bomb spotted. Manages to get out, picks it up, back into the vehicle. We had a buddy helping out, so it's not too bad that he got out of the vehicle, so it was not unoccupied. There's always a danger that you might lose it, and now we have some of that engineer attention I was talking about earlier. Managed to take out one target. Let's see if we can get some repairs on that. Nope, no chance for that. Gonna hop in here and take his risks. Again, another vehicle on fire. The bomb tends to draw a little bit of attention. So by going below for some reason, Rink has really worked himself into a corner here. He's got that constant attention on him now, and unless he finds a vehicle to get away really quick, it's going to be the end of the show. Or at least that sad life. Alright, looks like we got Rink in the tank this time. So taking a look at his loadout, he's got the AP shell, the staff shell, kind of an interesting secondary choice, the thermal camo, active protection, and zoom optics. Now, this would be an okay setup if you were doing nothing but long-range shooting, and he's doing a little bit of that there. The staff shell is kind of a humorous thing to use on maps where you have lots of small infantry vehicles like quads and bikes, because it can one-shot them. Now, it's also okay on larger maps like, say, Firestorm or Silk Road, where you have those long lines of sight and you can take out enemy vehicles at range with this thing. And he's getting some good use out of it right now. It looks like he's used up all of his ammunition. The AP shell is going to give him that splash damage he needs to take out infantry. I would preferably have a gunner in this setup, but we're going to see what happens here if he doesn't manage to get one. Okay, so he's picked up a gunner, and we should be good against pretty much any threat that comes along if we don't manage to waste all of our ammo, which we are doing right now for some reason. Not really sure why. Maybe a little bit cocky. So taking a look at the tabletop, yep, plenty of Chinese over there still at Alpha. Taking a look out in the bay. We see that boat there. I'd probably start taking some shots at that, see if we can take it out. Again, you sort of giving up opportunities here. You have to use all those shells on infantry right now if you want to kill any of them. Sees one right there. Might just take him out with a quick shot. AP shell, great for infantry, also great for tanks. Pretty much why everybody likes to run that one by default. I prefer to run HE shell if there are lots of IFVs on the map, as it tends to have a little bit better effect when IFVs are at an angle to you. That's pretty much the only time I ever run HE shell. Now, we're supporting this little push right here. It looks like the bomb made it all the way over there but got dropped. Not enough support around it currently. Going around the back here, switched out to staff shell. Shooting at random stuff for some reason. See an enemy vehicle over here taking a couple of pot shots. Probably not going to manage to come up with much. Looks like there's a bunch of enemies on the rooftop of Alpha. They're not going to be able to help out the bomb very much if it manages to get planted down there. Looks like they're currently in possession of the bomb. Looks like it is also in that IFV. So the staff shell is also useful for shooting tanks and armor that are hiding behind objects, as it'll go around them. So if this were me, right now my alarm would be going off in my head that I haven't seen that enemy tank yet. I know my ass end is pointing towards the enemy spawn, so it's really something to start worrying about. And it looks like that mad bomber might just make it to the point. There's only a couple of supporting Russians over there. Trying to get back over there right now. Rick's making the good move to try and defend it. I don't know if he's going to be there on time. And now we have this IFV over here. It's apparently not paying attention to him, which is great. I probably would have used the AP shells here. No reason to use the staff shells. The staff shell AP combo doesn't work quite as well as it used to. Could have killed that guy a bit sooner there. Thankfully for Rink, he wasn't paying attention. That bomb got close. And right here we can see that Rink is using that AP shell's blast radius to good effect by targeting the ceiling. That way any infantry that are hiding or prone underneath will take incidental damage. We see a couple of enemies here on the minimap. One's making a run for it, starts getting close. Oh, that might be a C4 guy. Almost gets taken out by that gentleman. Thankfully the gunner managed to take that one out. I probably would have backed up rather than gone for it. MVP Gunner also picked up the bomb, so we're going to be making a run for this bomb location. Probably a risky move without any supporting infantry around. Looks like we're really just hoping that we beat them all there. I wouldn't place my bets on that one. Usually there's a couple of people sitting back and defending. Looks like we have at least 3 here, and they know where you are because that tugs is going off on the roof. I'm generally pretty wary about bringing a tank this close to a roof simply because you can have enemies dropping C4 off of it and disabling you and then destroying you with some ease. Bomb was dropped. Chinese team's here in force. I'd probably be looking for some reinforcements right now or getting out of here. This is not a good situation to be in. We're going for broke here, and the enemy stole the tank. The enemy stole the tank. Bad idea. got out, did not need to. Trying to force the end of the game, probably not going to come up with it here. And you've given the enemy your tank. The bomb's getting away in that tank now. Thankfully, the tank got blown up by a couple of quick-thinking teammates. Very risky move. That could have been disastrous. Again, we only have 4 minutes left, so it's going to take a miracle for the Chinese team to win. C4 blows the bomb carrier sky high. Looks like we have an enemy right here. Oh, gets taken out by a rocket from behind. That is the end of that run. Trying to force the end of that game. Now would be a good time to get in there. Probably have lots of enemies in there. Probably not a way to force it with just yourself. Looked a little bit better when there was a couple of teammates around. Right now, I'd probably be thinking about how to clear this top off. Probably not going to be able to manage to keep it clear for very long because the parachute point is so close here. Runs out of ammo. Ooh, poor timing. Needed to make sure that that ammo was up. Looks like we're going for our own parachute. We see, oh, nice mine placement. Remember earlier when I said you never know when it'll come in handy? Right there is where it came in handy. And it looks like the tank backed off a little bit when he saw his buddy explode. Pulled the chute way too early. Now we're just going to float like a balloon for the next 60 seconds. Although you can make the best of it and pretend you're an MAV and try to spot a bunch of stuff. Pretty much if any sniper has his sights on you, he'll probably take you out in 2 or 3 well-placed shots. And the bomb gets taken out by a couple of C4 guys. Bomb's still on the bridge. Maybe we want to make our way a little bit more closer to that. We can see at least one enemy on the mini-map there. Now below us, might be able to whip around and take him out pretty quick. Manages to do so. A couple more on the mini-map out in the open. Might be in trouble here. Manages to trade with the M416, and that's the end of that life. Back on the ground. Looks like the bomb made it to the water. Heading off to the personal watercraft. Holding down that AEK. Needed to burst fire it at this range. You have no chance to stop that guy before he makes it. Makes it on the personal watercraft. Have a couple enemies on the mini-map. Manages to get taken out by a couple of them up on the ridge. Looks like Ring jumped in the boat. And the bomb jumped off the personal watercraft. Or rather got shot off. Making a swim for the bomb. Hoping for a pickup from the boat, maybe? I probably would have grabbed the personal watercraft from the back of the boat. Come over here, grab the bomb, then jump back in there. Oh, and the boat's going away a little bit too early here. There we go. Back in the boat. Boat's going to get a lot of attention now. The enemy boat's coming in. Only about a minute left. Probably not going to manage to get to that plant in time. Probably going to have some trouble getting up the side of this cliff here without a whole lot of cover. Driving off into what is almost certainly death here, I probably would have been a bit more conservative if there had been more time on the clock, but that is the end of that life. Going for a little bit of jet action here. Let's see what we got going. Laser guided, 30mm. Well, you can't change that up. Gyro stabilizer and IR flares. This is an okay setup. I probably would just switch it up by switching to the stealth coating, but that's my own personal preference. Usually I can keep control of a plane pretty well. Don't need the gyro stabilizer. That's a little bit more important on helicopters. Looks like we're going for the old parachute in on the top. Got some payback to deliver to these snipers that have been up here all game. Managed to take that guy out, no problem. Probably going to come over here and pick off this tugs. No reason to waste ammo. Good job. Uses the knife. Now he's getting spotted by what looks like a couple of guys down below. Lining up a couple of shots here. Unnecessarily moving. The AEK didn't do him any favors, and he got taken out by a sniper. And that is going to be the end of the round for us. Rink 0071 did a good job of supporting the objective the entire time he was playing. He probably took a number of unnecessary risks, especially with driving the armor into very vulnerable positions. And you should never ever abandon armor in enemy territory, or pretty much ever. Remember that it's one of the most important assets on the map the team has, so try to keep it a little bit safer. Additionally, Rink chose to use the AEK on this map, which is not really an ideal setup for a map as large as Lancang Dam. But for those that would insist on using it, definitely get acquainted with the need to microburst the weapon. I might even take that grip off to help alleviate the spread recovery. So good overall aggression on Rink's part, but an area to improve on would be safety first. That's it for this episode of Over Your Shoulder. If you'd like to be featured in a future episode, be sure to send me a link to your Battlelog, or better yet, get in contact with me in one of the ways in the description below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, YouTube.